Hello and welcome to my channel. I have another question today, and the question is, does God have a physical body? Both the Bible and good philosophy report that God is a non-physical spirit. In John chapter 4 verse 24 it is said that God is a spirit. This is why no material thing was to be used to represent God, but this can also be shown by reflecting on what God is. Philosophically, the same truth comes through. All that is created is necessarily finite and limited, but the first cause God is uncreated. And therefore must be non-finite or infinite. That which is beyond the finite must be by definition be infinite, and the Bible states that God is beyond creation. That which is physical cannot be infinite, for you cannot add finite parts together until they reach infinity. Therefore God is a spirit as opposed to physical material in his being. This does not mean that he cannot localize a physical appearance. God is not composed of matter nor any other imaginable substance. He also cannot be measured, is not spatial, and has no true location. Presence is a different concept. Knowing this truth can help us understand the metaphorical speech often used to describe God, or more often God's actions in Scripture. In the case of God, at once all finitude is negated from a statement, what is left is what is actually true. If nothing is left, then it is a pure metaphor. Some metaphors use attributes from creation itself. Others use man's attributes. In this way we can go from what we know by experience to what we know through the metaphors. For example, when Scripture describes God's mighty arm, we know that arms are by definition limited, but might is not. So God's mighty arm is actually unlimited power to act, and what we call omnipotence. When Scripture describes God's mind, we know that minds are limited, but knowledge is not. God's mind is actually his infinite knowledge, what we call omniscience. There were times in the Bible when God appeared in a physical body in order to be seen by men in a form which they could perceive without danger to themselves, because God said, "No man can see me and live." He chose at certain times to reveal himself in human form. These occurrences are called theophanies. Every theophany wherein God takes on a human form foreshadows the incarnation, where God took the form of a man to live among us as Emmanuel, God with us. Thank you for listening to this question. I'll see you next time.